ready, don't gamble. You have just 3 attempts. It goes by so fast. Concerning first attempt and my journey concerning second attempt, that's one of the things that you don't do. Prepare as if I used the BNF. I used the September 2016. Had questions really thick. So that's for your first attempt. I'll be addressing my study method for my final attempt. That's how it's going. I didn't finish. I already knew that some questions I didn't really know what I was doing. Second attempt, the attempt before the third, the attempt after the first. Study with that mindset that, okay, this is it. Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is PREREG EXAM. So if you haven't watched my previous video on failing the PREREG exam 2 times, please click the link down below or somewhere in this video. Today's video is going to be about my journey concerning first attempt and my journey concerning second attempt, what to do, what went wrong with my study method, how I chose to sit the exams during September, and every other thing in between. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Leave a comment below if you have any questions. I'll be looking at my book every now and again, also I can stay on track. So enjoy. Yeah, so my first question before I start, what's on your mind starting the pre-read? That's if you're just starting. Or what has been on your mind if you've just started? What has been on your mind thus far? Did you have a plan? Did you just start your pre-read like, okay, let's just start it? Do you have the exams at the back of your mind while starting? Is it something you've actually thought about? Or is it like, okay, whenever it hits me, it hits me? But I think now actually it's gotten better with how they prepare pre-read trainees and how prepared people are, because there's lots of information, lots of guidance, I believe now. But I started my pre-reg 2015, 2016. I graduated 2015, so I started August 2015. And how was my pre-reg year? It was interesting. It was interesting year, very demanding, very tasking. I had worked in a pharmacy during my university days, so I thought, or I think I had the business side of things covered. And for the education part or exam part, it's not the same. I don't know if anyone tells you that it's the same. It's not the same. Well, to me it wasn't the same. It was not like just continuing and writing exams, but that's the thing. I think I did wrong, but I'll visit that later. So I was due to sit, I was in time actually to sit the June exam because I started August 2015, so I could sit the June 2016 exam, but I didn't. I withdrew from that sitting due to personal things and personal issues. I had to take lots actually of holidays, lots of time off and whatnot. So I withdrew from that sitting and sat September. How did I choose? My choice of sitting September was because I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for June. I had just 9 days left, 9 days off for my sitting. I had taken lots of overtime and so that I can have those days off. But I felt it wasn't enough. For some people, they would say, that's enough, you can do it, you can do this, 7 days is enough. But that's not me. You can't force me, you can't advise me otherwise if I know my person, if I know myself. But I actually did try to study for that 9 days and see if I could be ready. And thankfully, there is that provision to withdraw from the sitting up until the morning. So you best believe I withdrew from that sitting on the morning of the June exam. And for the June exam, actually, that was the first time the new format of the exams were being sat. So it was more clinical based, calculators were allowed, it was no longer multiple choice questions for the calculations. And I felt I wasn't ready because to me the pre-reg year was really disjointed. It wasn't in sync. Studying, working, getting time, coming back after work, meeting up with friends. I think I had 2 friends that were working in the same company as myself, so we used to meet sometimes at my apartment. We'd have a chat. During my pre-reg year, I did lose interest in the whole pharmacy. Not studying pharmacy. I enjoyed studying pharmacy in university. I enjoyed it. so much. I did really well as well. But I lost interest in what was going on. I felt the materials weren't together. It didn't just make sense to me. I joined a WhatsApp group, and I think it showed I was interested. Was with some of my friends as well, and they would be posting questions, really eager, messaging themselves, doing everything possible, and I'm like, I don't reply. I just like, oh my god, because it didn't make sense to me. Yes, there's the BNF, there's this, there's that. We had this training course provided by the pharmacy, but it wasn't still in sync. The questions we were being given were still the old formats. I felt it didn't really make sense to me. I think some people that did other training courses found it helpful. I will address a few training courses that I believe that's what people use as well eventually. I think for where I did my pre-reg, they've improved a whole lot. There are obviously people that did very well. There are obviously people that did so much better than me. Passed the September exam, passed the June exam very well. Even during the training year, they were up their games. This is a personal recap and summary and view of this. I am not looking down on anything. I enjoyed my pre-reg year with this pharmacy. It was amazing that I got the chance to do it with them. It was a good opportunity for me. This is just some lessons I learned, some things I thought wasn't right, and there were lots of right things, to be honest. They took good care of us during my pre-reg year. I can't touch on it fully because this video is for the first attempt concerning the exams. But anyway, that's my personal view, please guys. My personal view. Please guys, show your support, subscribe to my channel, leave a like. And my tutor was helpful in the business side of things. Eventually I think she got the hang or understood what the exams were about. I think it doesn't help that some tutors don't understand the gravity of the exams because some of them never sat an exam. I understand that it's possible to train them and enlighten them, but sometimes it doesn't happen. So you're stuck with a tutor that has never sat an exam. Has never sat the exams for the registration and whatnot. So they've been qualified years ago. So when you're going through this difficulty, they don't really get it. They assume that, oh my god, this girl isn't that bright, or have some really vague understanding, or look at you like with your side eye like, sis. But that's not the case. Having a tutor that's experienced in the exams, the tutor goes for training, that's really helpful. I don't know how it is now, but I'm talking from 2015, 2016, when everything just started newly with the new formats and how it went for me. So everything was disjointed. The training course that we were given, like I've just explained, it wasn't for me, guys. So I sat the September exam, and I think some of you can remember, or I'm sure people still taunt to you guys concerning June 2016, 95% pass rate, so and so. Please, I have lots to say about that, but maybe another video. But yeah, I sat September exam. So 3 days to the exam, and I'm so, I don't know, happy or just there. The exam would soon be over. That's just what I'm looking forward to. And by God's grace, this is the last exam I should be writing well before my driving exam, and hopefully that one goes well as well. So yeah, this is me. This is my table. It's just there. Yeah, that's it. I'm grateful. I look like yeah, I look really horrible. Not so horrible, but my hair is a mess. The irony of life, I do hair and this is how my hair is. So yeah, hopefully after the exam I can get it done. But just wanted to show you guys how I look a few days to the exam. And the September exam seating, it was 40%, roughly 41% approximately, so the whole number. 41% pass rate, which didn't make sense. So when I was preparing for the sitting, actually, because I had heard about the June 2016, I asked my friend after the exam, like, oh, how did it go? Did everything go okay? They said, yeah, it was fine. The calculation was okay, but they thought that the clinical was difficult, so that's the news I was hearing. Everybody was scared. Then they see 95%, and like, I was like, okay, that's good. Then I think September exam, or rather I assume that September exam would not be difficult, or they would be lenient just like they were. That's what I thought. So that's one of the things that you don't do. Don't assume because a sitting was amazingly, like the pass rate was great, the next sitting it's going to be amazing and whatnot. Prepare as if you've not heard about other people's sitting. If you're an intense reader, intense study person, study in that way. Does it make sense? I hope it does. Study with that mindset that, okay, this is it. This is your sitting. It doesn't matter what people have said about their sitting. It doesn't matter about the pass rate for previous September or previous June. Just go ahead and sit your exams like it's just for you. That's one of the things I would have done differently. And how did I study? I used the BNF. I highlighted the BNF. I did everything possible, used past papers. For the calculation questions, to be fair, actually, I didn't really practice really difficult questions because, like I said, I had heard about the June seating, so it was like, okay, let's just do the usual calculations. Calculations actually wasn't my strong point because we hadn't actually done lots of calculations at university. We just had little tests and whatnot, and that's not anybody's fault. Always take responsibility of your learning, no matter the stage you're in. Yes, these people are being paid to do this. These people are being that's what the curriculum or whatever is. And because I didn't actually think that a calculation paper would be that difficult or that chunky. I'm now talking about the September 2016. So you had questions that were really thick. And I was the kind of person, when sitting my first attempt, most of the questions I had practiced were like 3-5 lines, past papers. Didn't really look at really tough questions or chunky questions. But September 2016 had questions really thick and whatnot, lots of wordings to go through, lots of numbers you didn't need. So I don't think I understood that when practicing, and so to be faced with that really threw me off. So I wasted lots of time in some particular questions were really tricky and twist and turny, and I didn't prepare for that gravity of questions. So that being said, always try to face all kinds of questions. Don't assume that the questions you face because you sit in June, it's going to be 2-3 lines. Because you sit in September, it's going to be 20 lines and whatnot. No. Practice questions. All questions that come at you. Especially if you're in a WhatsApp group. The WhatsApp group really helps. WhatsApp or WhatsApp, whatever you call it. Really helps a lot. The questions that are thrown at you, don't skip anyone. Just the simple one, the hard one, the ones that are really difficult, that really make you scared. Go for it. Solve everything that you can think of. I'll be addressing my study method for my final attempt in a separate video. I think that video deserves a standalone because anyway, so that was my study method for second. So while I was in September exam, actually I was like, you know what, I know that this has ended a horrible way. When I didn't finish, I already knew that some questions I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just going around in circles. It takes time. It really helps. You still haven't subscribed? Please subscribe. If you understand the question, it doesn't eat into your time. And so the first paper finishes and we go into the second paper. I really lose hope. Everyone's talking about it. They're devastated. People are crying. It was really traumatizing. So second paper goes on. I'm like, okay, that's okay. I feel like, okay, I did okay. Which I did actually. I passed my second paper. But some of you, if you're watching and you don't know, to pass the GPHC exam, you're required to pass both papers at the same sitting. If that makes sense. So I failed the calculations like I thought I would. And I passed the second paper. Well, nothing to rejoice about there. On the day of the results, I was like, okay, I know that I have not passed. I didn't bother checking or whatnot. I just go, get the camera, try to start my YouTube channel, try to ease up a bit. I'm like, okay, there's another attempt. I can do it the next time. So now, my second attempt. Actually, before I go into my second attempt, I'll just say, for your first attempt, before you take your first attempt, if you're not ready for your first attempt, do not take it. Don't sit it because you're not ready. Don't gamble. You have just 3 attempts. It goes by so fast. Do I have any regrets concerning not taking June 2016 exam? I did have regrets. I was not happy with the turnouts. I was not happy. I was like, I had the chance to. I started thinking of people that advised me to take the June exams and whatnot. But I'm actually glad I didn't. I don't think I would have been able to muscle it through the 9 days and prepare and everything. I don't think so, to be honest. If you're losing interest, talking about my pre-reg yet, if you're losing interest, please speak to somebody. Speak to somebody. Anybody willing to listen. If they don't have a reply for you, just speak, talk, keep talking, talk. Especially from the start, it really helps. If you see like in March you're like still not interested, still not feeling the vibe, still haven't gotten the hang of the pre-reg, it's still like in and out and in, speak to somebody, try and brainstorm, try to figure out why you're losing interest. Is it the study material? Is it from work, the pressure? Is it from home, the pressure? Try and figure out what's going on with you so that you have your mind set if you want to sit the June. So don't wait till it's like a month to the sitting or like a few days to the sitting, like, okay, should I sit or should I not sit? Try and make a decision before you start your pre-reg if possible, or if you're already in the middle, that's the right time to start making a decision if you would sit your June or September exams. So yeah, please don't sit if you're not ready. So that's for your first attempt. Second attempt, the attempt before the third, the attempt after the first. How did I prepare? I think I have lots of do's and don'ts for this one because my method wasn't it. Now I knew what had went wrong, but I still had that mindset of June sitting. So I made sure I did June for my second attempt because I still had that mindset of, okay, it's going to be easy, it's going to be straightforward, it'll be lenient and whatnot. Well, it's safe to say that that was the case, but I didn't prepare properly. One way and one thing that you should lose if this is your second attempt is, like I said, don't assume that the second attempt will be like the first attempt, or if it's June sitting, it's lenient. Study like you've not heard about the pass rate. The pass rate is to guide you, not to really tell you what to expect in the next sitting that is related to that month or that year. I hope I'm making sense. I studied so much for the calculations that I failed, prepared a bit for difficult questions, not really so much. I did past papers, Roy Sinclair, I remember doing his papers online. I did that yellow book, I can't remember the name now. I was in a group as well. I think I joined did I join a group? I don't think I joined a group. I think I did most of my study by myself for June. Oh, actually no. I think I did join a group, I can't remember now. That was 2017 of June. I focused more on the one I failed. So if you have done a previous sitting and you fail one paper, do not focus on one paper that you failed. Every sitting is different. You always want to be sure that you're ready for both papers. Remember, you need both papers to pass. Don't assume you have one in the bag because you passed it the other time. You don't know. Nothing is in the bag, guys. So you would want to study as you can. And that's something I didn't do right. Because I assumed that everything was fine with my clinical or part 2 paper. And I focused on my calculations. Did very well the calculation, but failed my clinical. I failed my second sitting. For my second sitting, my clinical, I think I just went through what I had used for the previous sitting quickly. My old BNF, nothing new, just went over it. For some people actually that works. They just go over their sitting, go over their study material that they used for the first, but to be honest, it might have changed. And I also think it helps comparing the pass mark for each paper. So I think the pass mark for the September that I passed the clinical I passed it by 1% or 2%. So you see, I was actually that strong in clinical. So even if you pass one, check how much mark you passed by. You may not have been as strong as you think. It may have just been, okay, you just passed. You just passed. So that's the thing. Go through the pass mark, go through the pass rate, but let it not be a defining factor. It should only be a defining factor if it is your mark and you can see that you didn't pass by lots of marks, if that makes sense. So by June 2017, I had lots of time to study. I did. It helps to plan your study. At every attempt, plan your study. I travelled to sort out my conversion course back in Nigeria to become a registered pharmacist back there. I did lots of travelling. Started writing, because I'm a writer and an author as well. Started doing other things just to clear my head. And also it was my brother's wedding. I know everyone's getting married, but yeah, as well. And so I came to write the exam. I did most of my study while trying to register in Nigeria. Came back a few weeks before the exam, June exam, to sit the exam. I would say it helps to be around sources and helps to be around help when you're studying for your second attempt. Don't assume because you're good to go, you're good to go. Actually, something I didn't say for the first attempt. Just because you've been passing your university exams doesn't mean you would pass your pre-reg exams. I do not mean this to scare anybody, but it depends actually. If you're the one that could marry everything that you were taught at the university to your pre-reg, to your work, to your study, you're good to go then. But me personally, I would say I felt that...
Sorry to interrupt again. Please subscribe if you haven't. Thank you if you have.
Materials were not together. I think I mentioned that already. Not together in the sense I'm someone that I love studying. I study with my whole might. I don't know how my facial expression is, but I think my friends can really like talk about this best. When I study well, and I like going to look for stuff to study because there is a place to find those stuff. But I didn't feel that way because I felt that materials were not really there. I think that's what I felt personally, to be honest. But yeah, so that was my first thing. Felt I should mention that again, or mention that. So understand your study method, whether it needs to be different from your university and your pre-reg, or whether it should be the same. I think I needed a different study method, which I would really address in my third attempt video. Please, you need to watch that. Even if it's your first attempt, second attempt, the third attempt video should be most people's study method from the very beginning. I believe as well. My second attempt, wrong mindset, wrong preparation method, didn't really invest time into both papers, invested time into one of my papers, and obviously it turned out that I did better in that paper. I failed the clinical and I couldn't register then. And also I would say to sit, so like most of you know, if you sit September in the previous year, the next time you sit the exam is the June. So obviously you have lots of months to prepare, to like sit back and re-strategize and whatnot. But if you sit the June exam, then you have September, which is a little gap. And I think what tends to happen to people is just a few months to prepare for your second attempt. If you start June, you sit September again. Sometimes it's enough. You can really go back and brainstorm and really know where you went wrong. But it's quite difficult if you fail one question or fail just two questions. I'll hopefully get some of my colleagues or mates to speak about failing just one question and how they try to overcome it, how they look past it and kept going. Mine was different. I shared a blog post with my results for my first two sittings, how much I failed by. I didn't fail by 2 marks, 1 mark, loads of marks, but yeah, we got through it. So please, I hope you enjoyed my little chat. If I missed out any point, I would leave it down below or attach it somewhere in this video, or speak about it in the third attempt explanation, which will be really detailed. I would leave third party that I used and how I went through it. Well, thank you so much for watching. I hope it was helpful for you. If it wasn't helpful for you, you can share it to somebody else you think it might help. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Thank you so much for watching, and my name is PREREGexam. I'm here to help.